Hello and welcome to this episode of the 101 Sports Webcast. I'm Stephen Normington.
And I'm Ryan Ballack. We have a great show for you today, so let's kick things off with the quick hitters.
This past week, Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco signed a 6-year, $120 million contract to stay with the Baltimore Ravens. This contract makes him the highest paid player in the NFL history. Many believe that this contract ends the debate on whether or not he is elite. Ryan, is Joe Flacco elite? Is this more about timing?
Look, Joe Flacco really impressed me with this playoff run, and I've never really had a lot of faith, so I'm leaning towards giving him kind of the elite status and maybe giving him a better contract. But Tom Brady just signed an extension for 3 years, $27 million. And you're going to tell me that Joe Flacco, the guy who 2 years ago in a Sunday night game with the New York Jets, didn't complete a pass for 2 quarters.
It is ridiculous.
And he gets 6 years, $120 million?
In layman's terms, he is an Audi. The rest of the elite quarterbacks are Ferraris, Porsches, and
like
Benzes. That. All right, you got Roethlisberger making less money than him right now. Drew
Brees, two-time Super Bowl champion,
and Peyton Manning. This is absolutely ridiculous. A guy that's never thrown for more than 4,000 yards or 25 touchdowns and only has a 2-to-1 touchdown to INT ratio. This is absolutely absurd. I'm not giving him that type of money.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, Joe Flacco ranked 25th out of 32 quarterbacks this year in total QBR. That's pitiful. And with the team that, he's made the playoffs every year he's been in the league, which is very impressive, but his defense has been so crucial to that.
And Ray Rice is a running back.
Right.
You got to pay those guys to keep up the success.
And without big stars on offense, like Anquan Boldin and Ray Rice were so crucial in this playoff run. If you don't have the money to pay those guys, you're not going to be very good.
Oh, never.
Recently, the NHL proposed an entire conference realignment, creating 2 super divisions per conference. This would create a Final Four showdown, just like the Frozen Four in hockey. Steve, do you think this conference realignment is a good thing for hockey?
I love it personally. I want to see the best 2 teams playing in the Stanley Cup, regardless if it's the Eastern or the Western Conference.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's great for hockey. Also, you have Detroit moving back to the Eastern Conference along with Columbus, which I love because their fans have honestly been screwed over with having to stay up till 10 or 11 p.m. to watch games, which is absolutely horrible. And the other thing that I love about this, hockey is forcing Florida teams out of the league. Did you see the division that they're in? They're going to be playing teams like Toronto and Boston all the time, which is absolutely horrible. But I think that these teams have no place in hockey.
So fast. I mean, I'm really glad they're breaking up the weaker conferences. The Southeast Conference and the East has proven time and time again that they don't deserve to have the 3 seed at least, because they always end up getting with Tampa Bay or Carolina.
Yeah.
But I don't like taking Detroit out of the West, because then you get rid of that big-time Detroit-Vancouver rivalry, that Detroit-Chicago rivalry
as well.
So you're getting rid of some big rivalries. We also create new rivalries, so it's good.
They will still play each other twice a year, though, which is a positive note for the NHL.
And they can still play each other in the finals, which is good.
Last week, another number 1 ranked team fell in college basketball, as number 1 Indiana lost 77-73 to Minnesota, while number 2 Gonzaga pulled it out a down-to-the-wire win against BYU. Ryan, is this Gonzaga team for real, and do they deserve the number 1 overall seed in the tournament?
Well, right now they're the number 1 seed for the first time since like 2006 or something. It's been a very long time, maybe the Adam Morrison days. But I think they're worthy of being a number 1 seed. But number 1 overall seed is really going to depend on the fates of the big elite teams come conference time. I think if Duke, Indiana, or Kansas win their conference, I think they will get that number 1 overall seed.
The thing that you have to keep in mind, though, is all those teams already have 4 losses on the season. Gonzaga has 2.
To who? Gonzaga's played really much worse competitions.
They were fluke losses.
It's the Western. Come on, it's the WCC.
They have a 7 BPI and an 11 RPI, which means that they're playing good competition and they're winning.
Do you know their strength of schedule?
They blew out.
Their strength of schedule, Steve?
Okay, we're going to ignore that.
They blew
out West Virginia. They blew out Oklahoma. They won against NC State.
Unranked.
Oklahoma State's ranked. They have Marcus Smart, Markel Brown. They're a great team. They're ranked 10th right now in the nation.
You think number 1 overall? Number one overall, regardless. If they win their conference, Duke wins their conference, and Indiana wins their conference.
Look at the history. I think they are. Look at the history. Right. 2002, 2004, 2008. Those were the mid-majors that got the number 1 overall seed because their teams went undefeated and they had great starting lineups.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
There's been a long-time push to get LeBron James to participate in the All-Star Weekend dunk contest. Well, now Laker legend Magic Johnson has entered the push, offering the King $1 million to participate. Steve, do you think this will be enough to finally get LeBron to dunk, or is he going to dodge it again?
We're talking about $1 million.
Not $1 billion.
Not $1 billion, but $1 million. Anyways, that's a lot of money. I don't care whoever that is. That's great.
LeBron's a lot of money.
It is. I mean, I'm sure LeBron has that under his bed sheet, but that's neither here nor there. But LeBron has to do this to prove that he is getting close or equivalent to MJ. MJ dominated All-Star Weekend.
It's a different era of sports. I mean,
who cares? He wants to be MJ. That's his goal.
But if he's going to beat a bunch of no-names like Terrence Ross and Jeremy Evans, who cares? Unless Kevin Durant and other superstars, Kobe Bryant, do this dunk contest, there's no way LeBron's going to do it. And these guys don't get offered $1 million. They're not going to do it either.
He's already preparing himself. Do you see these warm-up game dunks when he's throwing it off the back row between the legs?
He can do that all he wants. We'll see once it comes down to sign up for this competition.
He's going to do it. He's not scared anymore, and he proved that when he won the championship last year.
Oh, we'll see about that. Well, that is all the time we have for this segment of One-on-One Sports Webcast. But when we return, I will be joined by one of our basketball experts to break down some highlights. Don't go anywhere.